Crypto just got its biggest green light yet. The Genius Act has been signed by Donald Trump and Bitcoin dominance is dropping. If you're watching closely, you know what that means. Altseason may have already started. Hello and welcome back to Prodigal Son Crypto. What a week it's been. Donald Trump has signed the Genius Act and it was quite some scenes at the White House yesterday. So in this show I'm going to be showing you some of the highlights from yesterday. Some great footage there, a monumental moment in history for crypto. And then also we're going to follow that by breaking down some of the charts. We're going to go through the total charts, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and a number of others. And so I'm going to play you a clip now from yesterday's action at the White House. If you want to skip straight forward to the charts, you're welcome to do so. But I think it's quite an important moment in crypto history. And if you're a believer in crypto, this is an important moment for you and your financial future.
Keep going. We worked hard. We worked hard. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we worked hard. It's a very important act, the Genius Act. They named it after me, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you. But I want to thank you all for being here. This is really a big day. This afternoon, we take a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology as we sign the landmark Genius Act into law. So congratulations to everybody. This is a big deal. You've come a long way since the Biden administration, when they had no idea what you were all talking about. And half of you were under arrest for no reason whatsoever. True, for no reason. And we want to have it, not China. China wasn't actually happy. They were watching this. They like it. And we've got this. We've got AI. We've got a lot of great ones happening. I also want to recognize some of the countless industry leaders here today, including Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. You've done a good job, Brian. That's a big deal. Dave Ripley of Kraken. Dave. Thank you, Dave. Jeremy Allaire of Circle. This is a big day. Good job. Good job, Jeremy. Paolo Ardino of Tether. Paolo, thank you, Paolo. Ryan McInerney of Visa. That's a good company. Thank you.
And now today, you have another historic legislative achievement that is a monumental step to fulfilling your promise to making the United States the crypto capital of the world. This Genius Act will unlock American dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system. And it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally, by creating a digital dollar that people all over the world can use. And for every digital dollar in a crypto wallet, there'll be a traditional dollar in a U.S. bank account, which will create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. Treasuries. So that is the power of this bill, is U.S. dollar dominance. This is a huge promise made and promise kept by President Trump. Earlier this week, the media was reporting that this bill was dead. This bill was dead, and then the media didn't know one thing, that we had a secret weapon. We have a deal maker in chief. And thanks to President Trump, he stepped in and saved this bill. And it's because of your vision, your leadership, your determination, your skill that we're all here today. So thank you very much, President Trump. Thank you.
Hello, fellas. This is not an auto pen, by the way. Which is a big scandal. If that were a Republican, it would really be a big scandal. But it is one of the great scandals of our time. Thank you very much, everybody.
What a time to be alive, eh? So as David Sachs says, every dollar will be backed by a real dollar, whether that's on USDC, USDT or others. And, you know, this is going to benefit the chains that you invest your time and money into, such as Ethereum, Solana, and many others, Cardano, XRP, Sui, whatever you're involved in. This is beneficial for you and for your chains that you love and support. Also, what I really liked to show there was the amount of industry leaders that were there. You know, you had Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, you had the Winklevoss brothers, you had David Ripley from Kraken, as you saw Sergey Nazarov there from Chainlink at the end. Many leaders, Visa were there, Circle, you know, all of these big exchanges, industries, payments companies, they were all there at the White House. This has cemented crypto in the finance industry. No longer is it just TradFi, it's TradFi and it's DeFi. And what a great time to be alive.
Today marks a seminal moment for digital assets and global dollar dominance, with President Trump signing the Genius Act into law. This bill provides the fast-growing stablecoin market with the regulatory clarity it needs to grow into a trillion-dollar industry. Stablecoins represent a revolution in digital finance. The dollar now has an internet-native payment rail that is fast, frictionless, and free of middlemen. This groundbreaking technology will buttress the dollar status as a global reserve currency, expand access to the dollar economy for billions across the globe, and lead to a surge in demand for U.S. treasuries, which back stablecoins. The Genius Act is a win-win-win for everyone involved: stablecoin users, stablecoin issuers, and the U.S. Treasury Department. I want to thank President Trump for his visionary leadership in shepherding this bill into law, and Congress for rapidly advancing this critical legislation. By expanding financial freedom and reinforcing dollar dominance, stablecoins will play a critical role in making America great again.
And here we have Robinhood CEO Vlad explaining how crypto and AI will change the future of every industry.
I think it shows that this country is ready to take the lead globally with digital assets, and it should be in the lead. Digital assets, along with artificial intelligence, are the two frontier technologies that are not just going to shape the future of the financial industry, but the future of every industry. So we're really happy about this. We think, and you know, we spoke about this last time from France, that connecting crypto technology to assets that have real world utility is how you actually unlock a tremendous amount of potential.
And we have to remember that crypto is global. This is not just an American thing, okay? World leaders from across the world are looking on at this and wanting to get involved. And, you know, one of the pioneers for buying Bitcoin as a sovereign nation was El Salvador, you know? And look, El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, meets with Pakistan's Minister of Crypto. And just to show how much China is putting into foreign assets as well, this is driving liquidity. This is global M2, okay? Chinese depository institutions, okay? Net foreign assets. Look how much this is going up. It's starting to go parabolic. And the Fed is sleeping, yeah? Inflation fell sharply to 1.71%. Meanwhile, the Fed continues to use lagged BLS data and postpone cuts. BS data, maybe. We need to be agile and efficient monetary policies which require reliable, high-frequency data. So inflation is going down according to Truflation. It's sovereign nations, it's institutions, okay? BlackRock plans to add staking to its iShares Ethereum trust. In a fresh SEC filing, the asset giant is seeking permission to earn rewards on staked ETH. Okay, and we're seeing this on Ethereum. We're going to see this on Solana and other coins as well as they start to get their ETF approvals. And BlackRock have bought 21,000 Bitcoin this week. That's $2.5 billion worth, okay? So they hold over, which looks like they're holding just under 800,000 Bitcoin, maybe 750,000 Bitcoin they're holding now. And here's a chart here from CryptoCon, okay? Bitcoin doesn't always get free moves to extreme greed in the cycle, but I think this will definitely be one of them. Currently in the lower values of greed, with plenty of room for growth. And we can see this in the fear and greed charts, yeah? We've been touching greed, almost at extreme greed, but not quite there yet. And as I've shown in previous videos, fear and greed can go into extreme greed for quite some time. And a couple of charts here from Titan of Crypto. I recommend you go follow him on the X, yeah? Altcoins, golden crosses here. On the ETHBTC weekly chart, the Ichimoku golden cross just printed a classic precursor to Altseason. Watch the lagging span. It still needs to break above price, the Tenkan and Kijun, for full confirmation. Okay, so it's got the golden cross, and this is the Tenkan and the Kijun to get above to show that there's serious strength in the ETHBTC. And here he says the moment has come. The Altseason many had given up on might be finally starting, or has it already begun? Are you positioned for what's next? And this is all what I'm talking about here. So many people were calling Altseason dead, not going to happen. You know, I was just always saying that the cycle cannot end with Bitcoin dominance at the highs. It will end with Bitcoin dominance at the lows. We are starting to see the breakdown, and we're going to look into that now. So here's Bitcoin dominance on the weekly, okay? As you can see in Titan of Crypto's chart, this trend line here, yeah, it did sort of get above that slightly there, but let's not be too fussy. That line is there. It reached it again, and it looks like it's starting to break down. And on this chart, I wanted to show you, okay, so in the 2016-2017 cycle, okay, the drop in Bitcoin dominance here, okay, happened 427 days after the US elections, yeah? So it's 427 days from the elections to the lows. It was 548 days from the halving to the lows. See, the halvings are where the orange lines are, the elections are where the blue lines are, and the lows are where the red lines are, okay? In the 2020-2021 cycle, yeah, it was 296 days from the US elections to the lows. It was 372 days from the halvings to the lows. Okay, right now we are 257 days from the US elections. Okay, we are 454 days from the halvings. Okay, so the average from the US elections is 312 days. The average from the halvings is 460 days. So you can take a little screenshot of this if you want and study it and bring it up on your charts. Okay, and so you can see the averages are roughly right about on time. Okay, we are very much on time in this cycle. We've got plenty of time. If we said that cycles would technically run till Q4 of the post-election year, then everything's looking right on time, isn't it? So if you had been, so a lot of people who were in the 2021 cycle seem to feel like everything's late, everything's running behind, you know, maybe it's not going to happen because it's taken so long and everything like that. But if you was in the 2017 cycle, you're quite used to this length of period and have the understanding that this could go on for a while. And also, like, we're so lucky in this cycle that we've got these other cycles to look back on. If you was in the 2017 cycle, you had no history of Bitcoin dominance or altcoins to analyze. We've got all this data here, and that's why we should keep our eyes on it, because it's telling us what could be happening, what's happening, and we can watch it unfold. Now, zooming in on the daily on Bitcoin dominance, you can see that as I was showing this trend line, we broke down from that, okay, and I was highlighting, you know, if we broke 63.5, we'd be heading for 62, and then, you know, by the time we get to 60, we're in full-blown Altseason, okay? So we have just swooped below the 62% level, and we could be heading down to 60%, but from this drop that we've had so far, and I love the fact that it just bypassed the 200-day EMA, okay, but you know, we've had quite a sharp move down for dominance so far. So in the coming days to weeks, could we see a little bounce here? I very much doubt it's going to get above the 50 EMA. I very much doubt it could get back above this trend line again. I very much doubt if it got that high, it would break this overhead trend line again. I'm pretty confident that Altseason has started. and I want to go out and say that, you know, right now, that I believe it has started. Okay, there's lots of people sitting on the fence, but I think it has started. But like I say, doesn't mean that Bitcoin dominance can't get a bounce here. Okay, and if you look at the RSI here on the daily, you know, it's coming right down. It's got this red mark. You know, it's very rarely pierced down that low, and yeah, I would say there's a good chance it's going to get a bounce. But even if it gets a bounce and you start to see your altcoins coming back down again a little bit, don't panic. Okay, it's all perfectly normal. Okay, this ain't going to be some straight up ride for altcoins vertically from here. You might see other YouTubers saying, you know, we're just going to go parabolic from here. You can't say that. You can. Nobody ever knows how it's all going to behave. All you can say is zoom out, look at the chart, see what's going on, and just take it day by day, week by week. You know, like I say, this could all run till the end of the year. Maybe it goes to Q1, Q2 of next year. I think more likely end of the year. But that's a lot of time. That's a lot of months and weeks looking at these charts. So don't get too emotional, okay? When we look at Bitcoin's fib levels, we can see it's hit the 1618, okay, at 120,000. It spiked through it and found it actually as resistance, as a rejection in the near term, okay? So where could it go? Is it going to retrace back to 112K? You know, buyers might not be so lucky. It might not come back as far as that, but there is potential. We could see some sort of retracement here. Or will it just hold, you know, in a bull flag below this 120, this 1618, okay, before it takes the next move? And the next move is looking at $133,000 per coin at the 2618. Okay, so that's one to watch. Total 2 is now sitting at 1.45 trillion, okay? And it's moving up to the overhead resistance from the old all-time high to the more local high, okay? And, you know, it broke through this 1.28 trillion resistance. It's moving up. Could you see a little retracement here come back before it breaks up? I can't see it moving in this fashion straight to the line and breaking through with power. Okay, we might get up there, we might tap it, but either way, whether it's from here or whether it's from there, you're going to get some sort of retracement here. I believe there is going to be some sort of correction in the next week or so. Could be starting now. I think it could be a local top, and I'm talking about very near term price action here. This is yeah, it's looking good. It's going to get up there, I believe, in a matter of time, and we're going to break through, and yeah, and we'll be in price discovery for the total 2. And then total 3, as I've been saying in other videos, okay, I believe that Bitcoin is already in the belief phase, more like heading into thrill now, actually. And with total 3, I believe it's not even reached a belief phase because it hasn't broken its all-time high, okay? It looks like it's trying to break out of this trend down, okay? It's come up there, it met it perfectly, found a little bit of resistance and broke through. But then its other resistance is here at this 1.13 trillion level, okay? But like I say, look at this in this channel, okay, for total 3. It looks very, very bullish. And now we're above, on the daily, we're above like all the EMAs, okay? We're moving up nicely. If it pulls back, retest, perfectly normal. Might be a good chance to get some good entries on your altcoins. And with others, we're starting to see signs of strength, okay? It broke out of its downtrend, okay? And it's at resistance now at this 300 billion level, okay? If it can break there, it's heading to 350 billion quickly, and then we could be up challenging all-time highs around this 450 billion level. And USDT dominance, okay? It's falling, it's breaking down from the levels we was indicating and we was looking at, okay? It was around, last time we spoke about it, I think it was around this 4.6 level, okay? Now it's broken down past this 4.3 level, okay? I've always been indicating, yeah, okay, if we break down past this 3.73 level, this is the party zone, okay? This is where Altseason really gets good, okay? And if we get down into this after party zone, I call it the after party because you don't ever want to be stuck at the after party, you know, drinking the dregs of whatever's left and, you know, scratching around for whatever you can find, okay? The party zone is when the real fun's happening. The after party starts to get a little bit sketchy and a little bit weird, okay? And I think that's the time when, you know, the markets could be topping, getting a bit too euphoric. Okay, so this would be the after party, would be a good time to be taking profits if we get down there. I would suggest, as we get into this zone anyway, start taking profits as well. All depends on how quickly we get there, what the other charts are showing us. We don't want to jump to conclusions, but I would say party zone is what it is. It's going to be a party zone. It's going to be fun. A whole lot of good times in altcoin season. And then we've got the DXY, okay, and it's fine. Looks like it's bounced from this trend line, which dates back to around 2008, okay. But let's zoom into what's happening more in the near term. Okay, so it may have found a little bounce from there initially. I think it always was going to, you know, but you know, if it can start to have a little pullback, okay, so it's been coming down quite hard. Maybe it needs a slight retracement, a retest of some areas, okay, maybe even retest this 100 level once more, okay, but then I could start to see, I'm hoping actually it holds around this 97 level and then breaks down. But if it breaks down, where we want to see it go into is around this 88, 89 level, okay. As we said before, this was 2021, this was 2017, okay. That's the type of level we want to get to see our altcoin season as well. And once again, we have another highest ever weekly close for the S&P 500, sitting at 6,296. Okay, I've got some fib levels on here from the recent low correction this summer. Okay, or back in April, sorry. And now it's heading up. And you know, could it get to 6,945 in this cycle? Could it go beyond that? I doubt it. I mean, a lot of experts are saying, calling it around 7,000. Okay, but you never know. If this was an extreme mania phase, I'd say yeah, it could get to 8,252. Okay, but what we want to see is why we look at the stock market. We want to see the stock market's healthy, because as with all risk assets, if the stock market's healthy, all other risk assets, including crypto, are healthy too. And then we can also look at the NASDAQ doing very similar. Will it get to the 25,821 level? Okay. It's also breaking out another highest ever weekly close for the NASDAQ. And then the Russell 2000. You know why I like to look at the Russell 2000. As I showed in my previous video, this shows similar behavior, although different time frame horizon. It shows very similar behavior to the others chart, okay? And others is very similar to the Russell 2000, because the Russell 2000 is all your low cap stocks, okay? Others is all your low cap cryptos, and we haven't seen others all-time high yet, and we haven't seen a Russell 2000 all-time high yet, okay? Looking at these fib levels, it's starting to reclaim a lot of levels. You know, could it see a little pullback before, you know, continuing up? But I see that this does eventually break out, okay, as it has done in all these other presidential cycles marked out by my blue lines, and you can go and mark them out on your chart too. And also, if you like what you're watching right now, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, and is it going to break out, and is it going to get to the 1618 level around 289? I believe that when this breaks out, this goes actually a lot higher. I think it's more volatile than the other indexes for the stock market, and it could go up as high as 362. So I hope you've got a lot from today's video. As I've been showing, the markets are very healthy for now. You just got to keep your eyes on them. Watch what's going on week by week. We're having extremely bullish news, but yet things are not too greedy yet. You know, indicators are not too overcooked yet. So we've got plenty of time to run. This is a good time to be getting in. If we get any pullbacks, which I believe we will, I think we're going to get some sort of pullback in the next week, okay? Maybe quite a sharp little correction, but I think they're going to be sharp and snappy. I don't think they're going to be long and drawn out like you've seen in the previous year. And I believe there's time to get your entries. They might even be so quick that you might get quick wicks down, like daily wicks. So it might be a good idea to actually set some entries on exchanges, okay? So that you can catch those while, you know, you could be at work, you could be, you know, looking after your family or out having fun, and you could miss those optimal buying opportunities. So I'd suggest, if you do get a quick pullback in the next week, get your entries in, because it could be the last chance to get some of these assets at these lower prices, okay? You know, some of these assets are well off their all-time highs, so, you know, there's plenty of money to be made. And like I say, if this cycle runs till the end of the year or Q1, as some are saying, you know, there's plenty of time to make plenty of money, okay? And in the next video, I'm going to be doing some breakdowns of altcoins, okay? I'm going to be looking at many of the big caps. I'm also going to be looking at some low caps, okay? We're going to show entries and take profit zones. So it's going to be an altcoin only special, no news, just charts, okay? So if you like the sound of that, see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.